this one has an arch because it was one of the upper doors. So we don't have to put the arch in it because all of his lower units and the rest of his kitchen are straight across. They don't have an arch. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First I'll show you the coffee bar again. That's a bar. And then I'll show you, I'm going to try to go and do really exact processes of how I'm going to make this door match as close as possible to this one. So again, this is the cabinet. So the top is going to have two blanks for the drawer fronts. And then the bottom is going to be the two doors I just spoke about that are not going to have an arch type, but they are going to be raised panel. And we're going to get them as close as we can. The inside of this is all knotty alder that we milled up. So once it's all done, there's going to be a piece of granite down here where the coffee, I'm guessing, maker is going to go. And then I'll show you how I'm going to make the doors for it. There's the drawers. Everything we use is soft close here at the shop. So let's go get started on the doors. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I got me a little notepad. I'm going to write down the measurement of the doors. We're using 1/2 inch overlay hinges, which means that the door is going to sit on the face frame 1/2 an inch to the left, to the right, and up and down. So I'm going to measure my opening and then just add an inch to the width and then add an inch to the height, which will give me my 1/2 inches all the way around. So I wrote down my measurements, which you probably can't see, but they are 20 5/16 for the width, and the height is 23 inches. So I will show you on the door that the customer brought in what we're gonna match. So these vertical pieces, because the door goes like this normally, so the vertical pieces are called stiles, and they run the full length from top to bottom, and then the rails go in between there. Again, they're just called rails. And I'll go show you how I mill all this up once I cut my pieces. Oh, I use 2.5 inch pieces here. And this door looks like they used 2 1/4. Sorry. So I lied. I'm gonna have to cut down my pieces to 2 1/4 so that they look as similar as possible. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this. Since we established already that the stiles go vertically and they go the whole length, my stiles that I'm gonna cut, I'm gonna need 4 at the 23 inches. The rails are gonna be 20 5/16 minus 4 1/4 of an inch. That's just the way that my machines mill everything up. So these will be the full 23. These will be 20 5/16 minus 4 1/4. And once we're finished with the door, it'll fit the way it should. So if you saw me marking each of these boards, what I did is I marked which side was the opposite side of the crown. The crown is the belly. So if the board has any warp to it at all, you want to run all your pieces with the belly part of the warp. So in other words, if this was your board, if it did slightly like this would be the belly. That's what I'm referring to. So you want to put the belly down on all your pieces so that once you make your door, it'll sit flat against the cabinet at all 4 corners, I know that probably doesn't make any sense right now, but I'll try to explain as I go. Tell me when it's recording. No. Okay, when you make a 5-piece door, you have to make copes, is what it's called, and you also have to make dados in them so that they lock together, kind of, if you know what a mortise and tenon is, kind of like a mortise and tenon. You always want to do your copes first, because if it splits out in the back a little bit, when I take my other machine and I run it through, it'll get rid of any tear out or blowout, or basically where the wood would chip off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Okay, so this is what I just did. It's called cutting the cope. These are my rails again, so they're gonna be the horizontal pieces. So should fit together. Once I do my other pieces, it should fit into the little groove. These are also getting a groove because the panel is going to be entrapped all the way around this door when I'm finished. Okay, so if I didn't mention this before, when I run all my pieces, I leave the X facing up. So these were the pieces that I coped a little while ago that looked like this. But then what I did is I ran ahead and ran the dado on this side. So you're gonna have your wells and you're gonna have your stiles. So I'll show you what they're gonna look like when they're put together, but it's not time to put them together just yet. Good. Okay, so when the door is put together, this fits in there just like this. And once it's sanded, that'll be the exterior of your door. We still have to make the raised panels, which we'll do in a few minutes. So since these doors are going to be painted, what I'm using is Double Reinforced MDF, or maybe they call it HDF, which is high density fiberboard. I don't know what it is. I just know it's double reinforced. It has to be double reinforced in order to run it on my shaper. That's going to do the raised panel portion of it. Otherwise, it'll just all bust apart if it was just regular MDF. So you got to get the double reinforced stuff. Okay, I got my 2 panels cut out of the sheet. Now it's time to go put them on my shaper and make them into raised panels. So this is a test piece. We're gonna go make sure that it fits into our frame of our door, or the rails and the stiles that I've been working on. If it works, I'll go ahead and cut the real ones, and then we just have to put it together. Okay, so I used a scrap of wood to go ahead and make sure that we got a good fit, and to make sure it's starting to look like the door we're mimicking, which is this. So let me grab this door. So I think that's going to be close enough to this. They had different cutter heads. So it's a little bit different, but it's in a separate part of the kitchen. So I think it's gonna be okay. Originally, I wasn't even gonna do raised panels, but they're such good customers that I wanted to get as close as I could. Okay, so I just ran my raised panels. That's some pretty good looking raised panels, if I have to say so myself. So what I'm looking for is to make sure that this little line goes to the corner. If it was off to the corner, that means that my shaper wasn't adjusted right. But in this case, all was good. It's ready to go. I'm ready to put them together. So this is, well, really the glue is what's gonna hold the doors together, but I use this brad nailer to nail them until the glue sets up so they stay rolled nice and tight. All the joints are nice and tight. The brads that I'm using are 5/8 inch brads. The reason I don't wanna go any bigger than that is because the stock is about 13/16, 3/4, somewhere around there. If I used anything longer, it would shoot through the front. So even though I'm using 5/8, which should give me 1/8 of an inch, I've had the little plunger drive them so far in that they shot out the front anyway. So what I do is I shoot them in at an angle just to make sure that they're not gonna poke through the front and give me problems when I run them through my sanding machine. Okay, so I got my door together. This is the back side. This is the front side. Next, I'm gonna put it in my door clamping machine. It's gonna square it up every single time, and I'm gonna shoot some little brads in it. And then I'm gonna let the glue sit up for at least an hour. If you can notice the angle I'm putting it at, just to make sure that these little brad nails don't shoot through the front side. So there's one. I'll leave it in the clamp while I'm putting the other one together. And I'll take it out, I'll lay it flat. You always want to keep doors flat so that they don't warp. So I'll put it flat and I'll probably sand them tomorrow when I get back to the shop. Okay, so my doors are all made and sanded. The last thing I need to do is to add the outside profile. So it looks like this profile. So I'm gonna do that real quick and then I'm done with my part of making the matching doors that are gonna match us as close as I possibly could. Okay, so here's the end result. Here's their door. Here's the door that I'm making. It's not the same size, but I believe that I got pretty close to matching their door. I'm sure they're gonna be happy with it. I hope so, at least it's up to my standards. Now, thanks for watching. Have a good night, bye.